Saving private random colostomy bag part 1.
So when I start to change my ostomy bag, I first get all my supplies out so I know where everything is. I make sure everything's ready because your ostomy bag and your stoma has a mind of its own and it's very unpredictable. So I make sure I have a Kleenex in front of me and everything that I need. And so when removing your ostomy, first thing I do is you take it out of your jeans. And so I put it around it so it falls right into the bag. And then so I take a no-sting universal remover wipe, which is really important that it doesn't sting and it's not extremely acidic. And so I open that, and sometimes it's a little messy, so do it over a trash can or if you're sitting on your toilet. And then I'm gonna start.
Oh, by the way, I picked this white woman to explain it all because we all know Karina, aka Random, don't do black people. Okay, let's carry on.
Just to kind of lift up one edge, and then you're going to slowly remove it. If you're doing this right after surgery, it'll be a little tender there, so you want to be extremely careful and make sure that you're really taking it off well, not just like ripping it off, because that skin is extremely fragile. And I personally kind of shave around the outsides, especially like right here, because that pulling on the skin can really hurt sometimes. So I definitely do that. And then, let's see. Okay, a little graphic, but so that's what it looks like when it's off, and that's kind of what it looks like, how it's supposed to look like when you take it off. And then so the next part is I just kind of, before I take any of the adhesive around my stoma,
I wonder if you can save the bags and reuse them. Okay?
I just kind of remove some of the stool. And you want to be extremely careful when you do this because your stoma doesn't have any nerve endings. And if you're being too rough, you wouldn't know. You can only feel the skin around it. And when you've had mine for a few years...
Yeah, so you have to be careful, Random, because when you're trying to get all that stool out, that shit. You know what I'm saying? You better be careful how you touch it because you'll rip off the extra skin. You know what I'm saying? Like foreskin with the extra dick.
So you can have some little bit of redness around it, but that's typically normal if it doesn't bother you, and you can use powders to kind of help that. Anyway, it doesn't really get. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is, typically I would do this over a toilet, but since I'm in front of the camera right now, I'm just going to kind of wipe away some of the adhesive around it. And you want to be careful when you're going around the stoma. And the rings and the redness I have right now is normal. I mean, you have bandages over it. So, it's been quite a while.
I wonder if I put my hands at the side of Random stomach and squeeze, would it shit just go? You know what I'm saying? Let's carry on.
Just kind of forms how you put it on.
Okay, we gotta rub it like this, Random.
And it helps that it's no sting because you can get pretty close to the stoma.
You see how she's rubbing it, cleaning it? You know what I'm saying? Well, be careful, Random, because if you rub it too much, you might just stimulate it. Okay? Don't want to be turning yourself on now, do we? Let's carry on.
So the reason I use wet gauze instead of baby wipes or anything that's kind of an oily, you don't want to put anything around that. Just a little bit of warm water, not scalding, but just a little bit of warm water is like plenty enough. And usually around monthly, maybe twice a month, I actually take off everything that I get in the shower to make sure, cool down the water so it's just warm, and you make sure it just stays as clean as possible.
I should bloody hope so, you dirty bitch. Let's carry on.
So you don't get yeast infections, which is possible with this. But yeah, don't take this off with anything that is oily and will make the process of the sticking not work, because then you'll have more leaks. You want to make sure that what the canvas basically you're working on is as smooth as possible. So that's basically what I do. Okay, and then basically I let that dry. And you want to make sure it's really dry before you put anything on. So I just fan that a little bit, and then I start getting ready to put stuff on. So
I would like to ask this woman, is there any side effects like grooming people's kids, putting their pictures up on YouTube? Is that a side effect of the colostomy serum? Okay, let's carry on.
first thing I do is I am getting out an ostomy barrier seal. And so people have different methods when using this. I like these ones the best. There's like stoma paste and this and that, but this is easiest for me. This is the size of this, but some people have smaller stomas, so you can actually cut it and then kind of size it closer together if you have a smaller stoma than this. And I just have to make mine a little wider than it is. And while I'm letting that dry, it should be dry in a second. Anyway, if you need to, you can use like an ostomy protective powder, and that's for like the redness around here, but I don't need to use any today. And then you can also use a skin protective wipe, which can make it easier to stick. A lot easier to stick, and it kind of creates like a glossy type. It's made of elastic, so it creates like a really nice surface for you to put this on if you have problems with it sticking. And so,
well, if there was problems with the sticking, would it be okay to use Crisco? Because that sticks quite well. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna end that for this part of the show. In fact, let's listen to what she's got to say real quick.
this is more moldable if you get it a little warm with your body heat, and you want to make sure. And you kind of look at it, and you see it's fitting. And I have a loop ileostomy, so I have to keep in mind of the little loop I have right there. And so basically, I'm just gonna put it on, and then before I do anything, I'm just gonna kind of, with body heat, just kind of make sure it stays on, and kind of press my stomach out a little bit so it's kind of moving with my stomach, kind of moves back and forth. I don't know what's doing that, but I just want to make sure.
So it's like the head coming out to the foreskin. Okay, let's carry on.
It stays on and it's not going to come off, and that it's fitting all the skin that it needs to, so it doesn't get on your skin, because stool is actually acidic and it can stink, and it makes it easier for it to come off. So basically, these ones you can actually just kind of peel back, and you can go either way. I go frontwards, and so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to look at my ostomy, and for like this, when you're finished and you know the size of it, you just kind of want to press down that peeled part that you peeled back, and you want to make sure it stays down. It's very sticky. And then you're going to put it up to your ostomy. You're going to make sure it fits and which way to put it. And make sure it fits as close as possible. Some stomas are really irregular. But anyways, so you're just going to push it down as close as possible to where you can get it, and then see how it comes up like that. So my next step before I put these flaps down is to kind of, make sure your nails are cut. It's not sharp. Your nails aren't sharp. Then you just kind of press down a little bit to make sure everything's sticking and that it, becomes one with the seal under it, with the ring. So I just kind of do that. I make sure it has room to breathe, and when stool comes out, it kind of expands a little bit, and you want to make sure that that process can do that smoothly, or it'll go under and it'll pancake.
So, as you can see, you stick it on and you keep it moving, okay? And then you put a bag over there, random, okay? So don't be putting on your little pickle too much, because you might rip off the skin. Foreskin, that is, okay? Until next time, bye-bye. This is the Popolitis News.